The market is absolutely bullish, Bitcoin is going up, and some altcoins are up more than others. In this video, we're going to look at DeepBook. We're trying to figure out whether or not it makes sense to buy into this rally. Let's have a look at some on-chain data most people are not considering. Now have a look at this. This is the top 100 cryptocurrencies in terms of their market cap, and DeepBook protocol more than doubled in the last 24 hours. This is how that looks like on a chart. And the story around DeepBook is an order book based decentralized exchange. It's on the Sui network. The project itself has 59,000 followers on Twitter, and the token is held by 61,000 holders on chain. It's the fourth most liquid token on the Sui network with $7.1 million worth of liquidity. And one major driver behind this rally is that Sui itself, the Sui blockchain itself, is recovering much faster than other blockchains. Check this out. And this is DeFi Llama, and this is the total value locked change in the last month. Sui increased its capital by 27%, while other blockchains are rather struggling. So here's that recovery. There's clearly a turnaround for Sui, which is not true for the entirety of the crypto market. So this is now the total value locked across all chains. Now I try to be as objective as possible on this channel, right? I don't just shill random altcoins, hope for the likes. I try to also look for the negatives. And for DeepBook, there are potentially some. Because the total value locked of the protocol itself, according to DeFi Llama, isn't really that high. And it also didn't grow. It's currently at 27 million. And what we see here as purple bars, that's the trading volume. So the trading volume apparently also isn't growing that much. It's just around 10 million per day. And I've got a hard time to figure out what data is correct, because on the DeepBook website, it stated that there was 32 million worth of trading volume in the last 24 hours. There's no chart on the official website showing the development over time, but maybe this has something to do with the different protocols that are related to DeepBook. So there isn't just a single application. There's Aftermath Finance, there's Kria Dex, there's Cetus, FlowX. There are several applications that are powered by DeepBook. Now, if you've been following this channel for a while, then you know that I tend to have a bearish, a critical tendency towards most altcoins. And I think that's for good reason, because most altcoins tend to perform worse than Bitcoin most of the time. So we always have to look at the critical points as well. And there is a potential issue with the Deep token. Have a look at the circulating supply over time. It's currently at 2.3 billion, but it's growing very, very quickly. In 1 year, we will be at 3.8 billion. So if the demand doesn't grow as quickly as the supply, then the token is likely going to go down. When we buy an altcoin, we always need to get more performance compared to just buying Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is the least risky of the altcoins. Bitcoin will be around in 5 or 10 years. We don't necessarily know this for DeepBook. So if we buy DeepBook, we need to get more performance. That's why I like to look at relative valuation charts. How does an altcoin perform relative to Bitcoin, not just relative to the US dollar? Now this is the DeepBook to US dollar chart, and there is a lot of volatility in this chart. This is a drop of 86%. So this is on a logarithmic scale. On a linear scale, it almost looks like a pump and dump. Now here's the chart relative to Bitcoin. Also a lot of volatility. Here the drop is also around the 80% mark. But then there is one chart that has less volatility. And that's probably the best comparative asset, because this is now DeepBook relative to Sui. If the Sui chain gets more adoption, then the assets on the chain go up as well. If the Sui chain is going down, the assets go down as well. So of course, there is the overall macro with Bitcoin going up and down, but Sui specifically has probably even more impact on DeepBook. And so here, top to bottom, is quote unquote only 65%. There is a more predictable trading range. And unfortunately, we are quite high on that trading range recently. Can we break out? Potentially, but it seems like we did see some kind of a short squeeze recently. Price appreciations that happen that quickly rarely are organic purchases. But again, my main concern is the long term. It's not about short-term speculation, it's the long term. If we buy DeepBook right now, we have to be convinced that the demand grows extremely quickly. Check this out, for example. This is the circulating supply of the balancer token over time. And check out this chart relative to Bitcoin very long term. Now this chart starts in 2020 and it tells a clear story. Balancer underperformed Bitcoin by almost 99% over those years. Again, because the supply grows that much. Am I saying that DeepBook will share the same fate? No, I'm not, but it's definitely a quite risky play with that many tokens hitting the market. Even if you've got things like the core contributors getting their token relatively late, there are over-the-counter deals where the team can exit in a hidden fashion. So we can't take this lightly. Short term, things are unclear. Long term, I'm not really a fan. We don't have to find the few altcoins that can grow faster than their supply. We can also just bet on falling altcoin valuations. We can make money when this chart continues to go down. We can bet on Balancer doing worse than Bitcoin. Not just Balancer doing worse than the US dollar, but relative to Bitcoin. And I know this is not a very common way to trade crypto, but I think it's the easier way, right? Why try to time the market that much when there are a few altcoins that just continue going down and we can make money from that? And so I've created more than 100 tutorial videos on that topic, how to bet on falling prices, how to do risk management, how to do this in a safe manner in order not to get liquidated, but still build a portfolio independent of the macro conditions. There's of course also a community, dedicated chats on where we share our trades. I'm sharing my own trades of course as well. And so if you want to check it out, it's currently $125 per month. There's also a 1-week money back guarantee. So in case you don't like premium, just message me within the first 7 days and I will refund you 100%. There's really zero risk for you. If it's your first time here, feel free to subscribe. I publish videos regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. It helps the channel grow. See you next time on YouTube or see you in premium. Cheers.